Morning guys, beautiful day in Perth again. Another project I've come up with. Is clean up this little area. So you can see the Sandblaster and that plastic cabinet. It's just deteriorating in here because it's not really waterproof. Bit grotty. So what I'm thinking of doing is coming in here and getting rid of this business here, this cabinet that I've got. I can't really get far enough back, but getting rid of this one. Very similar size, 1.2 wide, and same as what I've got set up over there for the Sandblaster. So what I'm thinking of doing, I want to keep it on that plastic trolley that's in there because it's nice. I want to put it on wheels because that's the reason I got the Sandblaster in that back shed, is because it makes a bit of dust when you're using it. Not that I use it very often, but I just didn't want it in here. But it's I've only had it probably 3 years and it's starting to rust and fall apart a little bit, so I want to kind of look after it a bit. So, and I don't really use, this is almost empty in here, you can see on that side there, it's just a waste. Probably got more stuff on top of it which I can kind of divvy up and put on top over here somewhere. I've got a bit more room up there. That side's pretty chockers, but yeah, from about that toolbox there down. Plus there's going to be room underneath in that plastic cabinet, so some things can go back in there. But I don't want to lose, I kind of still want to have that storage up the top there. I don't want to lose that because that's just a wasted space then. So what I'm thinking is grab that plastic shelf out, chuck some wheels on it, put the Sandblaster back on top, and that way I can wheel it out here quite easily. It rolls over those things there, no worries. My big toolboxes get over that, so that it's light anyway, so it'll get over it. And then also have another structure around here, either build it up with wood and then have stuff on top with a wooden shelf, or the other thing, I mean, I've already got this cabinet, so, and I don't mind it because it's already got I made these doors for it, 'cause that way just keeps it a bit cleaner looking. So what I was thinking was, I know these give it a fair bit of stability, but what I'm thinking is just cutting them here, welding. I'll get some welds on them, take all the wood out, and just gut the front. Take these there's 4. I'll leave the top one. Take that one out, that one out, that one and that one. So 4. Weld it, and then those bits of metal that are coming out, I'll use them wherever it needs for stability, and then that way that thing can stay exactly where it is, and the Sandblaster on the plastic cabinet can just get pushed into this area here, and then close the doors and it'll look exactly like what it looks like now. But I still looks neat, still looks the same, and it's going to have, not going to lose all that storage up the top there. So I think that's going to be the project for today. Missus going out with a friend for brekkie. That's why I'm keeping my voice down a bit because it's quite early in the morning. But so I've got the morning to kind of suss this out, and then we've got to go to Bunnings because garden's not looking too bad. Excuse the dog shits everywhere. That's the next job too. But there's just weeds popping up everywhere and the sand's starting to come through. So it's going to be I think when we mulched this last time to do all of this was 12 bags of mulch. So I'm not going to buy 12. I've already got 1 in the back shed, so I might just get 5, so it'll give us 6. And we're just going to remulch it, and I want to get a little hand rake that's able to be put on a broomstick because of my crook back I can't work on my knees or bending over, so I want just a hand rake. A big rake's no good. I've got a big rake, but you just can't control it. It's pulling out the plants, it's just too big. So I just want to get a little hand rake and be able to put it on a thing so I can still use it standing up, turn all the soil over, and and then just thinly spread 5-6 bags of mulch around. Yeah, so it's kind of a double banger for today. 2 projects in one video. Hopefully knock this over today. See how we go. It's not a massive job. It's probably going to be a bigger job cleaning out that back little shed there than all of this stuff in here. This is not too bad. We've got about 3 days of no rain. I think it's going to rain on Tuesday. Today's Saturday morning. So yeah, I wanna try and get it all done by at least tomorrow, but if not by Monday, because if I need to leave things outside, I know they're not going to get rained on. So we'll give it a shot. No rush. I'm not going to rush it just for that. I can always bring it under the veranda, but yeah, we'll do that. I'll get back to you when I get a bit of progress. It didn't take too long, so that's all gutted out, cleaned up down the bottom. Actually wasn't too bad. I was expecting more rubbish than that for 10 years and never being swept under, but yeah, all good. That's all the that's all the shelving out of it there on the right there. So none of that's going to go back in, and that is the bracing from the front. And I'm not going to bother welding anything. It's like I'm shaking it and that's not moving, so that's just going to stay like that. All good. So that's all the crap out of it just there, and a little bit on my toolbox, but it wasn't too bad actually. So yeah, should be a good little upgrade, I think. The Sandblaster it's an awkward shape. Like, it's not that big as that hole, but it's pretty much going to take up. You can't really put anything else in there. We'll see what it looks like. No, I'm going to go and get the Sandblaster now. Probably have to empty some of the sand out of it, otherwise it's going to be too heavy to lift up. But there's also, I've got a little vacuum cleaner with a little vortex bucket next to it as well. So that has to go somewhere. So it's pretty much going to take up that whole spot, but all good. I wasn't really using it much anyway, so I'll probably just reorganise that a bit nicer up the top. And the main thing I had in there was my chargers for all my drills and stuff. So all that. So I'm going to have to come up with another way of doing that. But shouldn't be an issue. So a bit of an update. That's the plastic cabinet there. It's not the sturdiest thing in the world, and I've just taken the doors off it, so it's a little bit more wobbly, but I'll be up to it. It'll be fine. It's just so what I'm doing now is I've cut one of the old shelves up. That's liquid nails, and that's going to go on there, and then I'm going to screw through this plastic heap of little screws here. Those little screws, and then that way when I put the wheels, the little caster wheels, it can go to the wood. I was just going to make little squares, but it's not the thickest of plastic, so I thought I've got enough. So I'll just do a whole sheet of I think it's MDF, yeah, and that might strengthen it a bit. It'll probably make a big difference actually. Yeah, and that's a Sandblaster. You can see the latches are starting to rust, and a little bit of rust here. Just needs a good clean up, and I need to change the internal screen as well. But so that's going to be the next job. So that Sandblaster is a little bit wider than this cabinet, only by bugger all. But then I also, that set up there, just the vacuum cleaner and that bucket on the right with the vortex thing on the top, that needs to sit next to it. So that's how I had it set up before, with this white bit of plywood. So that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm just pretty much I might cut this down a bit, and only have enough space on the left hand side there, because that's where the exhaust is coming out of the Sandblaster. So that way the bucket and the vacuum can sit right next to it and come out as one. And then it's got a light, so you got to plug in. I think you got to plug in the light, the vacuum cleaner, and the air line. Yeah. So there's just 3 things to run. I'll just put a power board or a double adapter. That way you just plug in one thing to electricity, and then just run a airline. I've got that blue, that's the airline I have been using, that airline there. I just undo it and plug it into my compressor just over to the left there, and then run it out that hole that's under there, and that's when all the wires pass through. So it was easy enough, but yeah, so that should work good. I'll go and do that before that glue starts going off. This is all the powder coating gear. So it's a Eastwood setup from eBay I got. That was what I was using for painting, but you also need to use it for sandblasting because you only need 5 psi of air pressure to pump the thing out, pump the powder out. And when you buy it off eBay, they give you that because all the stuff in America is 110 volt and we use 240, or 120 volt. Yeah, we use 240, so it's a step down. Oh yeah, so it's stepping 240 down to 120, and then this thing runs on 120. That seems to work pretty good. Just got a few powders, different colours, mainly blacks, and I think there's a red and a silver and an aluminium or something like that. So I haven't used it for a while, but it's pretty handy. And yeah, having the Sandblaster just there and being able to wheel out there will be pretty good too. That way any dust and stuff stays outside and not in the shed. Doing that wine barrel, I don't know if you can see, a heap of dust everywhere. So I'm going to have to go through and give it a good clean up, but I'll do that after all this is done because this is making a bit of dust as well. So probably next week after work one afternoon. So I'll knock off at 2:30. So I've got a couple of hours in the Arvo. I'll come in here and give it a good clean up. But all good, I'll keep going with this, chuck those screws in, get it centred on that base. I haven't got the wheels, so it's going to be another Bunnings run. When the missus gets back, we've got to go to Bunnings and get that mulch and stuff for the garden, so that's when I'll get the wheels. And then don't know if I'm doing the mulch today or tomorrow, but I'll probably knock this project over first and then do the mulch tomorrow. Cheers, catch ya. Alright, another update just before I head off to Bunnings. So I think I showed that in the last one. So that's ready to go. It's upside down at the moment. So the wheels will go there. Got some screws ready to go for that. So just 4 caster wheels I'm going to get for that. That'll do that. And then I've cut the white wood a little bit short. Took off. It wouldn't have fitted. Yeah, probably would have fitted, but it would have been tight. It would have been a pain to get in and out. So I just cut a little bit off. And so now that is just enough room when it's flipped over here, because the sandblasters will go to about there, and then the rest of that on that side, the vacuum cleaner and the bucket, the vortex bucket, will fit in that spot. And then I ripped the doors off it because there's no point having, because it's going to have these doors still on there, so there's no point having 2 sets of doors. So I ripped the doors off it, and that's a bar from, it's a steel bar from this other big cabinet in the shed. I just cut it down and glued and screwed, and it's stiffened it up big time, so it's not wobbly left to right now. So I just gotta wait for the missus to get back, go to Bunnings, get the wheels. I'm also gonna have a look at some of these some different latches, see what we can do, because one of these fell apart the other day and it was a bit of a bastard to get back together. So they're not too bad, they're just rusted. I'll see what they got. If they got some good ones, a bit easier to use than those ones, and maybe stainless, might do that. If only I had a sandblaster to put these in to clean up. Anyway, that might be a project for another day when I use it. But yeah, you can see the weather. I'm going to check the temperature. It's looking good, a bit cloudy today. But yeah, not too bad. No storms coming. It's nice. I'm sure if you went down to that Ocean Reef, previous video I did, it'd show a few, it'd be a few boaties down there. What do we got here? It's only in degrees Celsius, so where is it? 10, so 14 degrees. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so if you guys in America need to convert that, I don't even know what that is, 14 degrees. All I know is your 100 degrees is around our 38-ish odd degrees, which we do see we see in summer here fairly often. But yeah, I don't know what 14 degrees Celsius is in Fahrenheit. But yeah, crack of a day, beautiful, no wind, just spot on. So, alright, I'll clean up here. It's a bit of a mess here. Wait for the missus to get back and I'll get back to you when we get back from Bunnings. I just got back from Bunnings. Got all the stuff I need, but then I've noticed the corners lifting off that. And you can see the glue starting to break apart in there. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm just going to put a bit more glue, and might even get ready and cut some more wood. Probably the thicker that thicker white stuff there, just 4 pads, and that's going to go on the inside up here. Bit more liquid nails, and then glue with screws, and that way I'll use some nice big screws, and I'll go through this wood, through the plastic, and into the wood underneath here, and really clamp it down so it sits flat. But I think it's because it's been sitting under this roof here, a bit of heat, but every corner's just lifted. It's a bit of a shame, but it should be fixable. It's only MDF, so it'll bend. And then from Bunnings, just got some more. I ran out of liquid nails. This stuff here, it's only $3 a tube, and these are the wheels. I got some 50mm wheels. I got two with a brake and 2 without. So they're the ones there. Plenty of weight. So 160 kilos between the 4 of them. So that Sandblaster doesn't weigh that much. So I'll get to fixing those corners and putting the wheels on, and I'll get back to you. Okay, we've had the normal change of plan and direction. What I've done, so I made that. Came out alright. I might keep it for something else, but maybe not. It's just that Sandblaster is way too big to be on wheels when it's on the ground, as it has been for the last 3 years. No dramas, you don't move it. But yeah, you try and move it and this thing just wants to fall over, and it wouldn't come up the ramp with those wheels that I had on there. And I didn't want to get 2 bigger wheels, because that's the next drama, because it's too high, and I'm pretty tall, and I still couldn't get I can get my arms in it, but I really needed to stand on something a couple 100mm high. And it was, you try and get it over these ramps, you pick up that white panel, and the whole half of that thing's only plastic, it's not metal, so it's not really fit for purpose. So it's either going to get turfed, or I might cut that white top down just to be flush on the other side and keep it for something else. Put it back where it was maybe. So what I've done was steal one of these. I used to have 2 of them, so one was in that hole there, and just fluked it, and it was the right size, and it's adjustable. You just knock them out and you can put the top down. So that's what I've done. I've stolen one from there, dropped the top 3 holes, and now it's at a really good height. And I got a shelf back in, so I got all my chargers back up there, so I haven't really lost too much space. The stuff that was down the bottom is back there now, so that's cool. Got the Sandblaster in here. Not that I'm going to use it in here, and that's the best thing, is that it's on wheels with brakes. Wheel it outside, use it, connect it up to the air, no dramas. And that should be sweet. I probably wouldn't use it in here because, like I said, it makes a bit of dust. It's not perfectly sealed. So and it's really noisy too. That vacuum cleaner is probably the noisiest thing. So probably best to do it outside. But I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's probably the best solution. Nice and sturdy, never going to fall. Heaps of weight loading, and I had to get rid of the doors, those white doors that were on here, because it doesn't close otherwise. But yeah, no biggie. But all good. I think that's another successful project. And then while I was at Bunnings, I was talking about getting that rake before. I found this. Never seen anything like it. It's so that's at its smallest position, and then you flick that. I'm probably not going to be able to do it one-handed. Hang on. You flick that switch there, and then like that. It's like an expandable. Expandable is probably like 400mm across. Yeah. No, it's bigger than that. Yeah, almost 600mm. See it there? So it's almost 600 mil across. And then you can, I'm probably going to mainly use it around there, but at its smallest, it's pretty strong too. Just under 200 mil. So yeah, I'd probably use it around there, get in and around the plants, and that lock is pretty stable too. It's not going to move, that lock there. So that was another good find. The only other option was they had some rakes there for 14 bucks, but they were not as many prongs as that. Probably only had about 10 prongs, and it was too wide, and I was just going to lop some off with the angle grinder to make it the size that I wanted. But like I said, you'd only end up with about 6 prongs, and it wouldn't really do much. Whereas that's it's like a big fork, you know, so that'll do perfect. Probably not going to do it today. It's pushing 3 o'clock. So it's going to be tidy up, coffee, and possibly a beer instead of a coffee, I think. And that'll be it for the weekend, I think. We've got a cruisy day tomorrow, so take it easy, and then we'll hit it again next week. Catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.